Our team worked in a very complex macroeconomic problem. The problem was an academic problem, and we are actually trying to adapt stablecoin in Montenegro for the first time. Not only in Montenegro, because recently there is no boundaries, at least political boundaries. We academically studied adaptation of stablecoin in Montenegro, and that was not easy. One of the main problems was the methodology that we're going to use and get some very practical, useful numbers from the policymakers, central government, and the state of Montenegro. With the cohesion of the team, we reached up to a model after long debates, actually up to some variables that we're going to use into the model. We tried tons of variables in the model, and some of them proved to be very, very useful. And the main principles were the variables that we used were divided into the demand and supply side. Some of them actually fit to the model. The model that we used is called structural vector autoregressive model, and we did a pretty good forecasting. But as we know, the SVAR model has an overfitting problem, and we want it to be more precise. So the policymakers in Montenegro, adapting this financial asset to our economy to be more precise with the forecasting and help them make more concrete decisions for the benefit of 650,000 people, at least. And we proceeded with the model and got into the Bayesian structural VAR model, and we got to the numbers, and they proved very useful. The conclusion and implications are very useful for the Central Bank of Montenegro, for the Ministry of Finance, and the central government. We actually proved that stablecoin brings benefits to Montenegro. But in combination with Bitcoin, when we simulated the situations, the Bitcoin is not predictable. Actually, we simulated increase the Bitcoin from 20 to 120, and we got some results. But when we increased extremely the simulation up to 600%, the results were the same. That makes us conclude that the spillover effect of the Bitcoin in Montenegrin market is not predictable, which means that we, as the government, have to be very precise in making very precise fiscal and monetary regulations in order to prohibit future upcoming spillover and unpredictable effects in Montenegro. The good side of the story is that the stablecoin brings some benefits. It increases the stock capital in Montenegro. It increases the human capital. It increases the employment and the GDP. And which is, I would say, the most important message of this novelty of the study is the adjusting mechanism of expectations, which till right now shows that the human capital is very quickly adjusted to the market. So the young people would go to the schools and try to comprehend what's going on with this automation of money and how it works, the stablecoin, and they will be very curious. And for the first 10 months, they will go through a curve, but after a year, they will they will understand the mechanism and they will adapt and bring benefits to the Montenegro. And the foreign capital shows to be very, very inclusive. So we would have foreign direct investments in Montenegro, but as I said before, we have to be very precise in making principles and the framework of the fiscal policies for bringing this new automation into our market. And finally, there is a lot of benefits and there is disadvantages that we have to be very careful bringing this into the market. And the employment rate would increase, which is very important as in combination with two other pathologies that we have into our market, which is currently debt, and actually we are over-debted, and we're in combination with the COVID crisis, which would definitely lower. So we have all to sit down and make further analysis how to institutionally get a framework for the adoption of this new blockchain technology. Even though it's a blockchain, we have to be careful because the blockchain will not be adopted worldwide by the governments of the other states, and we have to work on that more. Thank you.